Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today is Friday afternoon, and I thought I would leave you with a video about my contemplation to help you have something to think about this weekend, or certainly for the 5 minutes after this video. So I started my contemplation this morning about thinking of love, and then thinking about how people think and what people combine with love. And of course, that brought me to, of course, how I work with clients through grief recovery and how so many times there's different emotions that are tied to people's either giving or not giving of love or feeling or not feeling love. And I came across this beautiful quotation by all people, of all people, a singer that some of you might know of, who is Benatar. Now, I would have never thought of her putting out a quotation that I found very meaningful. So I thought I'd share it with you. And this quotation says, "Love and pain become one and the same in the eyes of a wounded child. Love and pain become one and the same in the eyes of a wounded child." And I thought it was so well put because so many people do combine these things. And we think in the eyes of a wounded child, and you think, wow, that must be some sort of physical or mental emotional abuse that's happened to a child for that child to be wounded. And that's what led to my contemplation. I thought, really, further contemplation came from this quotation itself. And I thought, wow, you know, I think we could think of all of us as wounded children, right? So if we think about, I don't know a single person I've ever met that has not had some wounding in childhood. Sometimes it's from family itself, and sometimes it's from friends, sometimes it's from life experiences. It could be classmates or teachers or anything that has wounded. Now, remember that our wounding can be our greatest sources of transformation. And what do people do when they're wounded? They, of course, think about what has happened, and then they have a lot of emotions around what has happened. And sometimes they speak about it. Most oftentimes, people do not speak about it. Where they are speaking is inside the mind. So I came across this other quotation which said, "Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will." Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. So imagine the wounded child who is fearful of being wounded again. And some people go right from childhood throughout their entire lives with this fear of the next wounding. And though they're moving forward in life, they are vulnerable, I'll say, of all words, less than confident, a little bit expecting, I'm going to say, of something going not right. And we can meet all sorts of people around us that go through this. And certainly in grief recovery, I talk about this, and I want you to really know this today from this video, that we are all walking around with our own wounds and our own experiences. And unless we process them, we are almost guaranteed to repeat very similar cycles. And I suspect most of you listening to this video would be able to recognize that in your own life in one way or another. It could be in relationships, it could be in friendships, it could be in family interactions, whatever it is. And see if you can sit for 5 minutes after this video and just contemplate, what kind of wounds have affected me and how do I think of them today? And remember that when we're actually healing from our wounds, it's learning from it in a positive manner. Not so much, well, I know how to avoid people like that. That's what I learned. Because that comes from a lower vibrational intention. It's more from a fear base, right? That I know how to avoid, because if I meet people like that, then I could get hurt, right? So that sort of idea. If it's more, I know what to pay attention to. I've learned from this. And I wish those people no ill because I don't know what they've been through. That is learning, right? And that's not with any lower vibration energies. It's with a proper understanding. So that is what I wanted to make sure I shared with you today. And then, of course, I found this wonderful quotation, which, of course, I always recommend, and I'm trying to encourage people to work from their highest self. And when we work from our highest self, which is, again, whether God consciousness or the universe or God, or if we think about a higher self, those are higher vibration energy. So those are things like understanding, it could be wisdom, it could be peace, and it could be love. So we come back to love, right? So I thought I would read this quotation, which is again from Manduka Upanishad. And this quotation says, bright but hidden, the self, higher S, dwells in the heart. Everything that moves, breathes, opens, and closes lives in the self, higher S. He is the source of love and may be known through love, but not through thought. He is the goal of life. Attain this goal. Attaining this goal is again knowing the higher self. So if I say capital S, or if I say higher S or higher self, this is how we're thinking about our higher consciousness that's flowing through ourselves. And unless we are mindfully aware of where is that higher consciousness and can I connect from my thinking, my wisdom from that space, we can forever live in that lower energy or lower vibrational space. And of course, I would want that we all are able to get to the highest space that we can get. And then today, first of all, do sit for 5 minutes and see which space are you working from. Think about something that you know has been something not so easy through your wounding experiences, whether as a child, young adult, or even adult, and see how you think about one thing. And then I'm going to finish with this nice reading that I came across that I just loved so much with how it was written. And I'm hoping it will inspire you because when I read it, I thought it was very touching. So here it is. It says, breathe. You're going to be okay. Breathe and remember that you've been in this place before. You've been this uncomfortable and anxious and scared, and you've survived. Breathe and know that you can survive this too. These feelings can't break you. They're painful and debilitating, but you can sit with them and eventually they will pass. Maybe not immediately, but sometime soon. They're going to fade, and when they do, you'll look back at this moment and laugh for having doubted your resilience. I know it feels unbearable right now, but keep breathing again and again. This will pass. I promise it will pass. And I get emotional when I read things like that because this is the work I do, and it's so meaningful to remind people. And today I'm reminding you, breathe and it will pass. Just like me reading, touching excerpts like that, I find it so meaningful and so much the energy I want to share with you today and for the weekend. Anything that happens today or the weekend, and of course I hope for the rest of your life, breathe, it will pass. I wish you a peaceful, a joyful, a full breath of life and happiness and joy in this moment and many moments through the week ahead, or even the weekend ahead, or even this hour ahead. I wish you a fantastic day, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.